How in the world are the Cowboys going to deal with Nick Bosa this coming Sunday in San Francisco? I'm going to talk about how we shut him down and more in today's video. But before I do, don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and also comment and let me know your thoughts about the video below. Follow Dallas Cowboys Sports on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can follow me, those C100 on Twitter. All right, so let's get into this. Nick Bosa, the great defensive end from the 49ers. More than likely, he is the defensive player of the year, coming in with 18.5 sacks this season. And that's very, very impressive because there were 3 games that he did not have a sack in the regular season. So that even makes him more impressive that he was still able to get to that number. But a lot of content has went out about how to deal with him in this defense. And I'm going to bring out some things that maybe you have not heard before, and also double back on some things that may help also in terms of strategy. But first things first, when you deal with Nick Bosa, the primary concerns that you have is how to beat him and how to deal with him in one-on-one situations with your tackles. So in this situation, we have Tyler Smith, the rookie left tackle, and you have the veteran first ballot Hall of Fame, Tyron Smith, holding it down at the right tackle position. Now, what they like to do is to try to get mismatches for Nick Bosa. So look for Nick Bosa to line up, especially at the beginning part of this game, over Tyler Smith, trying to test the young rookie's mettle and seeing if he can get some early pressure and get in a pass rushing groove. So I'm going to break down for you some key things that Tyler Smith can do, and then I'll go to Tyron Smith. Tyler Smith being a rookie, having a really strong upper body and having a strong lower body, and overall just a physical, tough guy with good enough feet to take care of that backside pressure for Dak Prescott. Here's the number one thing he needs to do when he deals with Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa primarily is a upfield power rusher. He'll use speed and then he'll go to power. He'll use power and then he'll go to counter moves. So what my guy needs to do, Tyler Smith, is use the ghost punch. Yeah, the ghost punch. That's a new word that I haven't talked about, but a ghost punch is basically a fake punch where you set up on a defensive end and you hold your hands out there and you fake shoot your hand, hoping that they reach for this hand. And if he reaches for this hand, you hit him with the other hand. And that's how you deal with that as a setup so that Nick Bosa can't do what he does best, which really is elite hand fighting. That will help keep Nick Bosa off balance, and also that will help him to not get the timing in terms of all of the sets with Tyler Smith. The second thing that Tyler Smith needs to do, and this has been a struggle for him coming out of college and something that I think he has improved upon, but he still has to work on and get a little bit better, is that Tyler Smith needs to keep his shoulders square and his hands inside. In other words, when he's setting from the left side, his hands will look something like this because he's a left tackle. He's going back this way. Okay? What he needs to do is avoid turning his shoulders, because if he turns his shoulders, he makes the edge skinny. In other words, he opens the door. So if he opens the door, what Nick Bosa likes to do is to win with hands and get to his hip by getting to this shoulder, dipping and sacking the quarterback, which would be right here behind me. So if Tyler Smith can stay square, he's going to be in a real good position. And man, keep your hands inside. All right, is the 2B to that. Sometimes Tyler Smith gets his hands wide. That can get him in trouble in terms of holding, but I'm not really concerned about that with Nick Bosa. I'm concerned about Nick Bosa being able to use power and hit him in his chest. If Tyler can keep his hands down and inside and he can extend on Nick Bosa, he'll completely neutralize his power. Now, to Tyron Smith, the Hall of Fame right tackle that we have. Now we got Tyron Smith, which now is in this position. Tyron Smith is elite and has a variety of tools in his bag, even at this point of his career. So what I want to see Tyron Smith do to shut down Nick Bosa, because remember, the number one thing that Nick Bosa does when he gets into a one-on-one pass situation is he's an upfield speed rusher, and he will use counter moves off of the upfield speed rush. He will use power and then use counter moves off of that. So he may sprint upfield, and then all of a sudden he tries to dip underneath and use a rip move. He may sprint upfield. He may try to use a swim move. He may sprint upfield and then try to bull rush you. Or he may bull rush you, lean into your body, try to get you out of position, and come off of you with some type of counter move. That's his game. Now, he does have weaknesses, which I'm going to talk about in a second. But with Tyron Smith in particular, Tyron Smith really just needs to control him with the inside hand, right? And he doesn't need the ghost punch, because really Tyron Smith is so talented, he can control a guy with one hand. I don't like controlling him with the outside hand at the right tackle position, because Nick Bosa can dip right here and to open up this shoulder, and he's really good at getting hip to hip with tackles and really making this shoulder open and getting off and shortening that corner, because playing right tackle, it's a shorter corner to the quarterback. It's a front side protector. So I don't really want him trying to punch too much and control with this hand. I really want him to try to set straight back with a vertical slide and hit him with this inside hand. If he hits him with the inside hand, and I'm talking about Tyron Smith at the right tackle, he can widen Nick Bosa out and get him out here. Get him out here away from Dak Prescott, which will be in here. All right? Because the worst thing you can do with Nick Bosa is to try to jump set him on a consistent basis. If you try to jump set Nick Bosa on a consistent basis, which looks like this, you jump right out on top of him, right? He's really great at dipping and winning with his hands and turning his shoulder and getting to the quarterback. Or you've seen in certain situations where he will try to spin back inside. If you jump out at him here, he will spin back, and then he's in a quarterback space creating pressure. So those are the things really, in my opinion, that Tyron Smith needs to do. Control with the inside hand, get a vertical kick, going straight back. If you get a vertical kick, you force him to run upfield. You don't give him as short of an edge. And then Tyron Smith can use his technique and his length to really keep Nick Bosa at bay. Now, moving on to the other things on how the defense will try to use Nick Bosa. And this really goes to the entire offensive line, because the entire offensive line, and the guy that's going to be super important, is Tyler Biadasz. Because what they do, and where he's got a couple sacks, is that they will actually line up defenders wide, and they will have Nick Bosa standing up outside. They will rush the defenders to the tackle, to the guard, and they will loop Nick Bosa around through the A-gap or right over the center. So, listen, the guards inside, Connor McGovern, my guy number 70, Zach Martin, and Tyler Biadasz, they got to be really aware of the loop coming back inside, because if you don't slide and keep your eye where the loop is coming from when your defender goes away, then he can have a free gap to sprint and try to hit Dak Prescott. Now, some of the other things that he does, I'm going to get into in a second, but I'm going to break down to you a couple weaknesses that Nick Bosa has and how you can take advantage of it. Nick Bosa is a guy that is fast in terms of defensive end fast. He's not Micah Parsons fast. He's a 4.6 fast, 4.7 fast. He's not a 4.3 fast. One, he is strong. You can tell he lifts weights, he squats, does a lot of leg work, and he's strong. So he can hold himself up most of the time at the point of attack. But Nick Bosa is not very flexible. He doesn't bend at the waist very good. So you don't really have to worry about really getting beat by a lot of his counter moves in terms of him moving in and out of you. He's going to beat you with his hands and with good footwork. A fast speed rush, or either a fake step in and then a step out to get you to open up your shoulders so he can get that short edge to the quarterback. So he doesn't have loose hips. He's not super flexible, and he doesn't change directions extraordinarily fast. He's really average when it comes to sticking his foot in the ground and changing direction. He wins with technique of hands and good footwork, and he wins with hard hustle. All right, that's how he wins. All right, so the other things that you can do, the Bucs have some success with this. Hit him with a tight end. He stops dead in his tracks. He's not gonna win on a pass rush after that. Another thing you can do is do the screen to him. The Bucs did that with success. The other thing you can do with him is chip him with the back. You also have the Carolina Panthers do that with success. Another thing you could do is throw the ball to his side with a catch and release pass. Set hut, throw the football on a timing route. Quick slant, quick out. Those things really frustrate him and it slows him down, especially because he's trying to get into a rhythm versus the offensive tackle. So doing these things and disrupting his rhythm really helps a lot. All right. Beyond that, running the ball straight at Nick Bosa is extremely effective. Isolation plays. In other words, base blocking plays, straight ahead dive plays, sprint draws, QB draws, all those things. He gets concerned with beating the block and not getting pushed off the ball. So he's really good at striking and extending, but he's not great at shedding and keeping his feet. Oftentimes when he sheds, he loses his balance and you can run right by him. He's not sticking, shedding, and getting off the block and making a tackle. He's not on Tank Lawrence's level in terms of being a run defender. All right, he's a hustler, but he's not a run defender. It's a big difference. DeMarcus Lawrence will actually shed the block and make the tackle. He's a guy that's trying to hold up his distance at the point of attack, hold up his balance and his leverage, and then just not get pushed back. But he's not making a lot of those plays. The other thing that you can do is trap it. Let him run upfield and you can trap him, which is down blocks on the right side. You leave him weak side, coming up the field by himself. You can kick him out because I notice he likes to run upfield. Like I've been telling you guys, he's not a guy that squeezes down and squeezes the hole. So you can get a kick out, but I would recommend we do some trap guards because he is fast, and pulling a guard and a tackle to him, I think is too slow. And he might be able to slice in to make that play. I think you need to do a Tampa play where you pull a tackle only or even pull a backside guard to get a real quick trap on him. And then you get a seam inside with Zeke or with Pollard. All right, guys. So listen, those are my keys to stop Nick Bosa. If you like content like this, don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Follow us on Boss Cowboys Sports on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can follow me, the OC, on Twitter. Let me know your comments, your thoughts about this video, how I did below. And until next time, guys, see you.